Today, we're going to design our very own car. This is my dragon car. You're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil and an eraser, and something to color with. I'm going to also use some stencils, so you might want some things to trace basic shapes. All right, let's get started designing this automobile. First, you have to decide what kind of automobile you're going to make. That's going to help you determine what kind of wheels to draw and how many wheels to draw. So I am just going to make a car. So I'm going to add a wheel here. I'm using a stencil to draw my wheels. You could also use a stencil. You could find something to trace, like a bottle cap, or you could just draw them freehand because we're just sketching right now. So these are the wheels. You can see I left a little bit of space here and here because the wheels aren't exactly the front of the vehicle. Whatever vehicle you're drawing, there's usually something that sticks out past the wheels on both ends. So I left a little room for that. Depending on what kind of vehicle you're making, that's going to determine what shape the vehicle is. Most vehicles have a basic shape. Lots of cars are rounded, almost like a half of an oval. Some cars are boxier, like rectangles. You could be really specific about what shape you're doing. I'm just going to make up a shape and see if I can come up with something creative from that shape. So that's the shape that I'm doing. It's sort of like a triangle, but it's cut off at the end. So now that I have the basic shape, the next step is to start adding details to make it look more and more like a real car. So we know that we definitely have to have doors and windows, but don't forget about things like bumpers. Some cars have spoilers on them in the back. That's like a fin on the back that looks kind of cool. So I'm going to add a door here because that's usually where the door goes, in between the wheels. The door usually has a window. I'm going to add a bumper right there. We'll add a little bit of space around that wheel well. I'm going to round the front a little bit and maybe put the headlight on there. Remember, this is a sketch, so you can make any changes you want while you're drawing. If you decide that your headlight is not the shape you want it, erase it and fix it. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this part. So I'm working on these other sections while I'm thinking about what to do with that strange point at the top. We'll add the other wheel well in the back. That's just the space that lets the wheel sit inside the car so that it doesn't stick out. And then of course we need a back bumper and some kind of tail light. That's where you'd have your turn signals and the back lights. So let's make this some kind of cool looking spoiler. So we're going to round this to make it look like this is the car. Strange shape for a car. And then this is going to be the decorative part. I'm going to make it look like a wing. Why? I don't know. Just thought it would be interesting. To make it look more like a wing, I had it come in right here so that there's some space so that it looks like this is a separate piece from the car. So now that I have the basic parts of the car drawn, I'm going to move into the smaller details like the door handle or the hubcaps or the rims. And now that I have this wing back here, I kind of have some inspiration for how to design the other details so that they're unified. So I've got sort of this bat, bird, dragon type theme going on. I haven't decided what animal the wings are, but the wings are going to inform how I want to design, say, maybe these rims. Maybe I want them to have the same kind of spikes as the wing. So I put a little cross in the rim just to keep everything lined up. Add a few points, then add a few more points. So now they kind of match the wing. So gradually this car is starting to look a little stranger and stranger, but the pieces are lining up with each other. I feel like I need to do something with this. I just got an idea. It's starting to look like the shape of like a dragon's head. So I think I'm gonna go along with that and let this whole car start to look like a dragon's head. So we're gonna put some ridges on the hood, which would be the nose. This is the eye. So we're actually gonna make this look even more like an eye by making the window into an eye shape. So even though I've got an idea now that this is going to be like a dragon head car, as it starts to look like a dragon, I still want to make sure that it also looks like a car. Here's the rear view mirror, which is also going to look like the pupil to the dragon eye. Still need a door handle. And now I've drew this decorative line right here, and I've got an idea for it. So the wheel wells will be the lip of the dragon. And this decorative stripe is now going to become the teeth. So as you can see, you don't have to have the final idea at the beginning of the drawing. Sometimes the inspiration comes to you while you're doing the drawing, while you're sketching it out. You're getting ideas. And when you get a good idea, you just go with it and see what happens. So there's my car. The next step, I like to outline it, so I'm going to do that before I color it in. So now I'm going to erase all the pencil lines and color and add any last minute fine details before we say it's finished. Okay, and here's our finished car. You can see that I colored everything in. I tried to make the bumpers look shiny. To do that, you just add these wiggly stripes and you try to alternate between really dark ones that look like they're reflecting something, and then white ones which are shining, and then like gray ones which are sort of in between. So you add a couple of those and it gives the illusion that it's this metal that's reflecting light back. I also went back in with a paint marker and added a few highlights. I used a gray marker to add some shadows where things curved underneath, so that there would be some shadows underneath certain parts. And I added, some extra texture lines here and there to make things look more realistic. So I hope you like the way that your car design turned out. Remember, it didn't have to be a dragon. It could be whatever you were inspired by while you were sketching yours out. If you want to keep working on it, don't forget you could add a background. Lots of car advertisements have really cool backgrounds that sort of accentuate the features of the car. So if I were going to do a background, I might put like volcanoes or something that goes along with the dragon idea, just to enhance the idea of my dragon car. So like I said, I hope you liked the way yours turned out, and I will see you next time. Adios.